Ed Davey, you're calling for an emergency budget today. What emergency is this? I don't hear lots of people talking about an emergency.
Well, people in business are really worried about the economy. The economy is flatlining. In fact, it fell back last month. And I don't see the government taking the sort of measures needed to reboot. They're going ahead with the job tax, which we've criticised since the budget. They're not going fast with removing the barriers to trade and getting a good, decent trade deal with our European colleagues, even though we're getting the tariffs from President Trump. So I absolutely think we need an emergency growth budget.
It's not like Black Wednesday. It's not like where we were after Liz Truss's mini budget. We're in an environment where there are things the government has done that you disagree with, but it's politics as normal. It's irresponsible to say there's an emergency situation that requires an emergency budget, isn't it?
No, I disagree with you. You're right to say that it's not as bad as it was under the Conservatives with the Liz Truss budget. I would agree with that. There was an absolute disaster from the Conservatives. They completely wrecked the economy. But this government came in saying it wanted to grow the economy, and the economy is not growing. It's creating a real problem for the public finances, and we're seeing the implications of that.
What would you do differently on the welfare package to what the government put forward yesterday?
I'm really worried they're going to hit people who are genuinely disabled and can't work, and we would oppose that. There are parts of it that I think we could support. For example, they've got this idea of a right to choose, where you would be able to, and a right to try, I think they call it, where you'd be able to go into a job without losing your disability benefits to see whether that job works for you.
I just want to switch subjects for a moment. When you look at the direction of travel over the last few months, you look at the way that this government is interacting with Donald Trump. When you look at the switch from aid funding to defence spending, when you look at some of the language around welfare, and some of that has been controversial, do you think that social liberalism is in retreat? Do you think your kind of politics is actually in abeyance at the moment?
Well, I've been very disappointed by some of those moves that you outline. Let's take Donald Trump, for example. It does seem to me that it's quite bizarre that we're the only party in British politics calling Donald Trump out. I have a little bit of sympathy with the government, let me be very frank with you. They're trying to tread a very fine line in order to try to persuade Trump to change his views, but I've come to the conclusion that he's an unreliable ally, and I'm very disappointed that the Conservatives and the Reform are not calling Trump out. He should be called out.